Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 101 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, we got the man. We got the one and only Jay Ellis in the building. How are you doing, my brother?
What's good, man? How you doing, man? Happy to be here, bro.
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Extremely, extremely happy that you were able to make some time to do this podcast and everything. You know, right now, we are making sure we're giving everybody their flowers. And one of the things, there was a great quote by the great Andy Bernard from The Office. He said, I wish there was a way to know when you were in the good old days while you're doing them, right? And I started thinking about that. I was like, you right now are part of a show that is so culturally important to us. And it's so big. It's like, it's literally our Martin and Fresh Prince of right now. It's like, it's one of those shows that in 20, 30 years, people go back and watching it like, oh, I remember this. Oh, this was this episode, or this is the one. Like, you guys have that moment. Have you had that time to, now that you guys wrapped up the final season and everything, have you had that time to reflect on that?
Nah, man, I don't want it. I don't want it. Because to me, those shows are so iconic, man. Like, when you talk about, like, you know, I remember, I don't know if I ever missed an episode of Martin. You know what I mean? Like, I remember every single day being like, if Martin was on, like, as soon as Living Single went off, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember it so clearly. I remember that lineup, like, even that whole night was in Living Color, Living Single, and Martin. And I just remember, like, man, like, that's what I want to do one day. That's what I want to be one day. That's what I want. I want to experience what that's like. You know what I mean? And so to hear people say that I'm a version of that, or I'm in a show or doing a show that is like this generation's version of that, man, it feels like a weight. It feels like pressure. It feels like honor. You know what I mean? Like, it is, you know, I do feel very honored to hear that. But at the same time, I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. Like, I don't. I want Martin and damn Gina. Like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but somebody's gonna want their Lawrence and Issa at some point.
And that's what I was getting to. It was like, when Martin and Gina was like, when they broke up, like, we felt that. We was like, oh man, and you wanted them to get back together. When Issa and Lawrence broke up, it was like, yo, we split. It was like, you know, on Lawrence Hive, Team Issa, but deep down, we all wanted y'all to get back together. So that's why when y'all dropped the bombshell at the season finale of last season, everybody was like, oh. It was like, dang, because it was like everything was going so good.
Yeah, man, it's really crazy, bro. It is definitely it's wild, because you're right. Like, that reaction when, like, Gina was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that reaction when Gina left, and to see people's reaction to Lawrence and Issa, you know, over the course of the series, and then obviously with the baby news, like, to see that, you're right, it did have this, like, visceral reaction, like the same kind of visceral reaction we had when we found out that, like, Gina was not coming back to Martin.
Yeah.
That she left him. It definitely had that same kind of feeling.
Yeah, man. So it's like, yeah, it's one of those. But I mean, I know, like I said, you are such a humble person. But again, we make sure we give people their flowers, and I want to let you guys know, like, you guys are definitely doing some really, really dope things with the show, just in general, just the different themes, like even the output of it. Because, like, I remember, like, the big talk was, like, you know, when you and Issa had that one moment where I think you guys were standing in two separate color panels. But it was just like, it was such an iconic picture, how it looked, how it was framed and everything. And then this is one of those shows that people pick apart everything. It's like, oh man, that moment. So it's like, we are we are in it, man. We are in it. And you know what I'm saying? I want to say thank you guys for bringing that show to life and just giving everything you guys gave with that, because it is such a dope show. And I got like the Wire, like expectations with it, where I'm like, you know how the Wire ended and you're like, dang, it ended early. You want more, but you're like, but this was a perfect button wrap up, right? Same thing with Insecure. You're like, dang, man, this show can keep on going. But even without seeing the final season, we're like, you know what? It leave out on a high, and then, you know what I'm saying, just have this classic material in this one thing. So, man, thank you, man.
No, thank you, bro. I'll definitely pass the love on, man. It's been an honor, man, to be able to do it and to like hit people's hearts literally season after season after season. And to your point, I hope we do it justice. I hope we leave out on a high and keep people wanting more. You know what I mean? I definitely think it's the right time for these characters. Like I think it's time for them to kind of go off into the sunset and live their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. So one of the things that I realized when I was just kind of doing the research for this interview and everything is that, like, you are a military brat. So you said that you went to 12 different schools. I'm a military brat as well. So I thought I had the record with 9 different schools, but you beat me with 12.
What branch?
My dad was in the Air Force. He was in the Air Force.
Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, so we were stationed in Germany. We was in California, Hawaii, like, and just, yeah, I've never went to a school longer than 2 years. So the reason why my record started breaking is because I went to 2 high schools. No, I went to 3 high schools, but my junior and senior year was in one school, and then in middle school from 7th and 8th grade, I stayed at the same school. So that's how I broke my streak. But yeah, other than that, like, I was like, but moving around, one thing I said, there's 2 reactions that's going to happen when you move around school to school. And I wanted to ask you that you have this experience. One, either it's hard for you to make friends because you move around so much, or because you move around so much, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to make friends with as many people as possible because I don't know how long I got. Because that's the reaction I had. I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So you know what? Let's skip all the, the awkward stages. You my friend, let's kick it because we only got a year. Was that?
Did you have siblings?
I had a younger brother, but again, he's my younger brother. We 6 years apart. I didn't want to kick it with the younger brother.
So I'm an only child. So I was very much in that way, man. Where, like, I will say school to school, it was a completely different experience. Like, some schools I'd be like, you know what? I'm only gonna be here for a year. So, like, I ain't even gonna try to get to know y'all. And then some schools I'd be like, yo, we only got a year. So I ain't got time to be like this awkward. We gonna be friends. We not gonna be friends. You cool? You not cool? Okay, cool. You cool? Like, friends with everybody, because I don't know who gonna stick. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely was it's interesting because I feel like I could walk into a room and like talk to anybody if I needed to. You know what I mean? And it does, and I'm not uncomfortable by any means. And I think it's just part of like what is in the DNA of someone who moves around like that and constantly has to do it over and over again. I also tell this thing like, where like, I also got to be whoever I wanted in every school, every single time. Like, I got to completely change personas.
Right.
My name is Ramon, and we always say, I always joke that my grandma had an affair with a Latin dude. She lived in Florida because I'm named after my dad, and his middle name is Ramon. But I went to this school in Texas, in Austin, Texas, that was like 85% Latinx. And so I was like, and I was a kid at the time. But because my middle name was Ramon, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna be the Latin lover. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden I was like, yes, my name is Ramon. And and these kids picked me apart in like seconds, man. Like, they were like, bro, you don't speak Spanish. Go sit down somewhere. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Your name is Wendell. Go sit down. Ramon. But yeah, man, it was a great learning experience to be able to move around like that.
It was like you could restart. It was like, okay, last year I tried this didn't work. So this year.
Yeah. Oh, the girl liked it when I was Love Hall Jones and I read poetry to them, you know what I'm saying, at this school, but at this school they didn't like it, so I got to flip it up. I got to be the athlete. You know what I mean? Like, it was just this constantly like reinventions, like Madonna and Michael Jackson. Like, every album I was reinventing myself.
Right. But like that got to help too. Had to help with a lot of the acting because, like I said, you got to play so many different roles in your journey to, where you're at currently right now. But it was like having that saying, you know, being able to be like, well, you know what, I get to try things, or I was already trying things just because this was my lifestyle. So like with you, because I mean, you were a PR for the Trailblazers, or interning as a PR for the Trailblazers. So like that jump from Nats and like the other jobs that you had to just, you know, modeling and acting, it was probably like, well, you know, I mean, you probably got that go get it mindset. Like, you know what, I'm just try it. Like, even if that wasn't your goal at that moment, you just like, oh, I can just try this and see how this goes and where this goes with, because, you know, you have that, I'm comfortable wherever, whatever setting that I'm in.
Yeah, you know, someone told me this thing one time, and I was kind of talking about just like my journey and like how I ended up where I'm at, and someone just gave me this like their version of a recap of it, or like just kind of like a principle they try to live their life by. I guess maybe it's a better way to put it. But it was like, you know what, you have your eyes on the prize, you know the thing that you want, and you set out on one road to get there. And just because you're going from, let's just call it LA to New York, don't mean that you're not going to end up in New York because you decide to take a detour on Route 66, or because you decide to take the 10 and go to the south, or because you decide to take 44 and go across the middle of the country. Like, there are multiple ways to get to New York, right? And so he was just saying that, like, you know, the flexibility and being able to understand that, like, one day you might be here and one day you might be there, but you're still moving towards the goal. Like, that part of the journey is what makes getting to the goal so much better and so much sweeter, because you got to see so much more than what you expected, as opposed to just staying on like one straight path. You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of experience. And so I don't know, I just feel like I've always tried to, like, to some degree, like, live my life with that principle, because, like, why not? Like, what's the worst that can happen? If I know I'm gonna end up where, you know, in this case, we'll just again keep using this, you know, geography as an example, but like, if I know I'm gonna end up in New York, like, why not take a little detour and pass through Chicago for a minute? Why not pass through Kansas City? Why not pass, you know what I mean? Like, I know where I'm going. And when I get there, like, it'll be so much more enriched by the, you know, because of my journey.
You know, you had once said, when I think you was talking about the character Lawrence in general and just your acting journey, and you had said once, you was like, you just wanted to portray, you know, Black people, you know, show Black people in a different light on TV, have people be able to see themselves within the characters and the roles that you play. And I started thinking about that because I was like, with Geek Set and what we are trying to do, it's kind of like the same path. Like, one of the things that we want to do is we want to be that voice for the Black geek. Like, everybody has the stereotypical on what a Black geek is, right? But we talk about anime, video games, comic books and stuff like that. But when you hear us talk about it, the passion sounds like we arguing Jordan and Braun. Like, it sounds like barbershop talk, but when you see the Black geek, you don't see that. You see the socially awkward glasses. Well, this is me. And that's not a lot of us. A lot of us do sound and talk like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny because I tell the story all the time. I'm like, it'd be me and my homies, and it'd be like, no, I wasn't, dog, I'm telling you, Superman got them hands. We're like, dog, what? Man, Batman, like, it's like, it really sounds like that barbershop talk. But it was like, you don't get that. So we want to provide that. And I said, that's what I want for us. I want us to be that voice. It's funny because my path has always been, I want to be a voice of the people. I do music as well. And I always thought that my path, my journey would be music. But then I started doing this podcast and been having so much success doing it from the mud. No network backing us. No, like, literally, like, I'm reaching out, cold calling, getting the correct information with a good pitch, securing people like you, right? And it's funny because, like, some of my peers are like, bro, how'd you do that? I'm like, bro, I go up the right path. I find out who I need to talk to and I reach out to. And I was like, I would love to have somebody co-signing us, but I don't have that luxury. So I'm going to get it out the mud because I'm like, I got this. Like I said, you got the end goal. I know that I want to be a voice of a culture and I'm going to get it no matter what. So I was like, I wanted to do it musically, but if this is allowing me to do that, I'm going to fulfill that bucket. So kind of, like I said, it kind of goes full circle with how you said you want to be that voice, you know, and you always had that representation, thinking about even just in general, if you work a regular 9 to 5, even though you're doing it to, feed your family, fill your pockets, whatever the case may be, you understand who you are as a person to represent. You know, you are a public relation person, but it's like, but you know, hey, you know, there's probably not that many people in PR that look like me, sound like me, dress like me, culturally, or you know, within it. I mean, so I'm that representation of that. So it's like you have that and have that same chip.
Did I forget the clacker out there?
You did forget the clap.
I'm just gonna clap.
You had brought it too.
I know, I'm just gonna clap.
I'm mad because I was definitely expecting you to get it.
I mean, I could
out of me.
quickly go grab it.
Just clap. 1, 2, 3.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces in the building. With me, I got my man Liv.
What up? It's Liberace. It's the Puerto Rican Santa. The spiccato playing, beat making, motherfucking legendary ass Puerto Rican. Sofrito Papi, and we back.
As always, I got my man Bacardi in the building.
Randolph today.
Konnichiwa, bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I hate all of this so far. I hate all of this.
What's good, everybody? How we doing today?
And we got Didge in the building.
What is happening, people? What's happening, people? What is happening, people? What is happening, people?
He's out the booth.
But it's like I said, we are expanding. We are doing more. So they say make sure you go to youtube.com/GeekSet. Follow us on all social media at GeekSet Podcast on every social media. And rating reviews in, man. We are rating reviewers on Facebook, rating reviewers on Apple iTunes, rating reviewers on Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever platform you're looking at. Give us some ratings, let us know. And then again, this is the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. We are out.
Peace.
Round 2, fight.
I think it's such a big, like, for me, like, I never wanted to, like, look back and go, damn, I wish I would have did that. Or I wish I would have tried that. And in also doing that, I also wanted to make sure that, like, anything and everything I did felt like a reflection of somebody I knew.
Okay.
And we got families and we got friends and we got folks who go through all kinds of journeys and ups and downs and whatever. And some of them we're closer to and not closer to. But like, I don't know that geek that you talked about before. I know the geek you're talking about right now, though. You know what I mean? Like, but that doesn't mean that earlier geek doesn't exist. It just means I don't know him. So in my portrayal of a geek, I want it to be something like, yo, my geeks still rock, you know what I'm saying, Dunks or Jordans or whatever, and they still wear jerseys, but they also talk about Dragon Ball Z, and they also talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, they talk about, you know, Batman versus Superman in the same way, you know, Batman versus Superman is literally Brown versus Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are literally talking about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that is real. That is, to your point, like such a, I don't know, man, it's culture.
Yeah.
It's who we are. It's our DNA. It's like, I could never not do that. I could never not portray that, you know? And I'm sure there will be roles that don't call for that. And there'll be roles that, like, you know, will probably stretch my abilities and make me, you know, go into places as an actor I haven't gone yet. But like, I still always have to tap back into some kind of version of humanity that I've experienced in my culture.
So in the argument, Superman versus Batman, whose side you on?
This is tough, bro, because I'm a Batman fan.
Yes, thank you.
I'm a stan, bro, but here's my thing, I'm a stan, like for real. But my issue is he's not a superhero.
No, he's not.
We all could buy what Bruce Wayne got if we had Bruce Wayne chips.
Right. But doesn't that even make him more dope? Like, think about the Justice League. You got all these superpower individuals, but they still need Batman, who is not a superhero.
They need Batman's money, though. That's like,
remember, he's the most world famous detective too. Remember, he still has strategy. He's
smart. Yeah. Listen, I'm not taking away from that. I just go like, you know, when a human can fly, bro, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who ain't ever wanted to fly?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, I don't know. I really love Superman. I'm excited that Ta-Nehisi is writing Superman. I'm excited to see what that portrayal of Superman is like. Like that is something that I've always dreamed of. So I'm really excited to see like what that portrayal of Superman is, because I think like that would be my knock against Superman. Like the superpower to me has like always been amazing and been dope. My knock has been like, again, culturally, I couldn't necessarily connect to Superman. So I'm excited to see like what that looks like. Where Batman, on the other hand, although I couldn't connect to his money, I could connect to his work ethic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll outwork you. So what's funny is, full circle, a couple of years back on Twitter, Lakeith Stanfield said that he wants to play a Black Joker. And amongst the response, a lot of people were saying that they should cast you as Batman, as the Black Batman.
I'll take it, bro. They're not ready for that.
They're not ready for that. So I started thinking.
I'm already working on the voice, man. They're not ready for that. I got the voice locked, bro. I give you a sneak peek, but then I got to call Warner Brothers and get the check. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. So I started thinking about some Black heroes that we didn't get on screen yet that you can portray. So are you familiar with Blue Marvel?
Bro, I love Blue Marvel.
Oh.
I think I'm a little young for Blue Marvel, though. I think I got a few more years for Blue Marvel. But I'll tell you right now, if Marvel will hear my pitch for Blue Marvel, we're ready to go.
Well, because I think that they're trying to get it ready for the next I can't think of it, not WandaVision, Captain Marvel. I think because he can be within there. So Blue Marvel, we haven't got a live action Jon Stewart yet. Now I know old boy from the Arrowverse is supposedly rumored to, but we haven't got a lot Jon Stewart, so you can be
in a series or in a movie.
Well, in the series, I don't know, because I know that they're doing a Green Lantern Corps HBO series.
Right.
But I don't think that they announced any casting yet.
Gotcha.
But I mean, Jon Stewart is open. Firestorm, because he's
Green. I was going to go back to Green Lantern for a minute.
Okay.
What's your favorite portrayal of Green Lantern?
So it is Jon Stewart, man. I love Jon Stewart, but Jessica Cruz right now is really dope. Like the new one. But Jon Stewart is my favorite because, like, you know, it's funny because when you start thinking about it, we gravitated as kids to the Black characters all the time. Zach, even though Tommy was obviously the dopest Power Ranger, we gravitated towards Zach, you know, because he was the Black comic, you know. That, you know, we love Static Shock so much because, you know, it's like Jon Stewart. When I used to watch Justice League animated series and everything, it's just like, one, Phil Lamar is amazing. I got it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's amazing, but like his portrayal, he sounded like a strong Black man. You know what he stood for. He was like, you got justice and everything. So Jon Stewart is my favorite. What about you?
Jon Stewart, I mean, it's probably Jon Stewart for me, but I think it's a lot of connection points, like, to your point. Like, I just feel like, yeah. And then last, Prowler. Like I said, I know Sony is trying to, you know, build that Spider-Verse. So Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle. He's kind of a villain, anti-hero and everything like that, but he's skilled hand-to-hand, really dope, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I was like, I can see you playing them. Those can be some characters that, you know, you can throw out in the universe in regards there. Well, I'd be happy to do any of them, man.
So it sounds like you are a comic book head, though. You know, a lot of people don't know Blue Marvel. So
yeah, I go in and out, man. I think some of it depends on schedule and depends on time, but like I kind of go in and out. I will say, like, I have Van Lathan is a homeboy of mine, and Van is like, I got a chance to chop it up with him. He was like my third or fourth guest doing this. And it was dope because at that moment, everybody wanted to talk to him about checking Kanye. Right. When I talked to him, we just had a comic book crazy. Van could go for days, bro. Days. So even Van puts me on game a lot. I'll say, like, he puts me on a lot. It's more recently for sure. Like, but yeah, man, I go in and out. Like, but Blue Marvel's always been a favorite of mine, man. I remember Prowler, but I don't necessarily remember enough about Prowler. So, like, that's interesting. Like, now I kind of want to go back and like read a little bit. Yeah. So and then Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. Yeah. Are you big on, like, listening to podcasts and stuff like that? Yes, sir. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on.
And I got a chance to interview this guy. He's really dope. His name is Comicbooks. So what he does dramatically on YouTube, he dramatically reads comic books and graphic novels. So I often tell people, like, if you don't have time to sit down and read, go to his channel, because he does all these runs. And you can go to Comicbooks and just kind of like pick a what's the name. And what's so dope about it is that it's not just him reading the comic books. They show the panel, but he gets into character. He's doing the Joker voice and like he's like a really good, like I told him, I said, when I interviewed him, I said, you should go into voice acting because you are giving life to these characters that, like, if I don't got time to read, I can just say, okay, I want to get into the new X-Men run. I just play the playlist and it's just him dramatically reading it and going the panel, stuff like that. And it's really dope. It can feed your comic book itch.
I just looked him up. That's dope.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so we got two things that we normally do. Well, one question before I get into the last two segments. So, growing up, coming from a lot of places where we normally come from, a lot of our outs is usually sports, people doing hip hop and everything like that. But another out or exit that we use is video games. So I know that you once said that like track and field used to be your jam, and that you saying you used to whoop out. You said some cousins that you used to whoop on. But what was the first game that you remember logging crazy hours and playing?
I mean, it's got to be Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers.
Got to be. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I had homeboys who were Sonic fans. I came into Sonic a little bit later. But for me, it has to be Mario Bros. Like, yeah.
It's either Sonic, Mario Brothers, Zelda, stuff like that. But yeah,
I had homeboys for Zelda. I never got into Zelda. Zelda's one that I never got into, and not for and I never had anything against Zelda. I think I was just so into Mario, and then I think like bringing Sonic in was enough for me. Like I couldn't handle like bringing. There's also like, yeah.
What's the last?
Another platform. Like, so I was just, maybe that was also part of it too. But
the console wars was heavy. It was like if you was either Sega or Nintendo. Like it wasn't that many people who had both. It was heavy.
Yeah. They're expensive. Like I think back, like being a kid asking for this like $250, $200, whatever it was, like console, and like my parents being like, "Are you crazy?" You know what I mean? But please, I'll cut the grass, I'll take the trash out, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll get some A's, I'll get some B's, like I won't get in trouble in school, whatever.
What was the last game you played?
I played a game called War of Warships actually a lot over the last month. I did this partnership with Verizon and the Wounded Warrior Project, and we did this War of Warships fundraiser, where it's basically a massive competition to raise money for vets. So you could pair off in teams of 4, and basically the winning group would basically be able to put $100,000 into any charity that they chose. So and they could split it up however they wanted. They wanted to put the whole 100 in one place, or if they wanted to split it up into smaller pots and send to different charities, they could. So I played a lot of War Warships over the last month, and I think before that, probably Halo.
Okay, all right. I haven't got into Halo yet, but I know that Halo is amazing. Like I got nothing against it at all. I just never got into it yet. So yeah. All right, so the last two segments, then we'll get you out of here. So what we usually do is top 5, right? So with you, one of the things that I saw on like your Instagram and everything like that, you have a high respect for just a lot of like just dope Black figures. You post a lot of Jordan memes, Kobe, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. So I want to get top 5 influence, like to people that influenced you, like in that realm, just Black people, stars, whatever the case you want to call it, that you just say like these are just inspirational people, and they don't got to be in order.
Top 5, no order, because I can't do that. Jay-Z, President Barack Hussein Obama, Jordan, James Baldwin, and probably Will Smith.
Oh, that's a good. That's a really dope list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you used to put together these playlists, and I haven't seen you do one in a long time.
I haven't done a playlist in a minute, man. I thought I was gonna do them this summer, and then I just got distracted with life, man. I'm gonna do a fall playlist, though. I'm gonna get one together.
All right, so I want to know just 5 artists that you are listening to currently. Again, it doesn't have to be in order.
Coco Melon, Coco Melon, Coco Melon, Coco Melon, and Coco Melon. JJ, CC, Mrs. Appleberry, Cody.
Those kids hear that beat, they go crazy because I got a 3-year-old. And same, so it's like I know, bro. Coco Melon, oh my God, Baby Shark.
Today is my first Coco Melon free day morning that I've had, and I don't even know how long, bro. So I don't even remember what music is like right now.
Playlist gonna be way different.
Like my Spotify is just like only suggested children's songs. Like it's crazy.
Song. Oh my God, this Oscar Grouch song.
But I've been listening to a lot of Jay actually. I kind of went back and started Reasonable Doubt, and I've been listening to a lot of Jay for a couple of different reasons. I think one, like I think the NFT. I think I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. It's been 25 years since that album came out, or whatever it is since that album came. 25 years since that album came out. Like I remember sitting in my dad's Ford Tempo outside the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, Oklahoma, while he ran into Sears to go get something, and like listening to Fresh Jams 105 and like the radio coming, like having the radio on and like Jay-Z coming on for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I think that like seeing all the news about the NFT just took me down memory lane in like a crazy, crazy way. So I've been listening to a lot of Jay lately. I still play Channel Orange all the time. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else, man. J. Cole's new album. So been on hardcore. Yeah. Big time. I listen to a lot of Tyler.
Tyler's dope. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Tyler. Yeah, man.
All right. So last segment, recommendations. It can be something that you're watching, you're reading, you're listening to, but something that you think that our listeners and viewers should check out.
I'm like looking at all my books.
Yeah, because I read it. Talk about it a lot.
It's a book called Black Buck by Mateo Ascapor. It's my homeboy. It's a really great book. It's a satirical, like, tale of a guy who works at Starbucks. This young Black dude who works at Starbucks essentially gets like pulled out of Starbucks to go work for this startup. And as the only like Black person in there, they start calling him Black Buck because they know he's from Starbucks. And it's this whole tale of how he like has to put on a mask in order to like survive in that space, but ultimately becomes like this crazy huge salesman. And then like at the height of all of it, and he's kind of lost his girl and he's lost his like family, and like at the height of all of it, he essentially like does this like, I don't know, he basically does this like switch and is like, yo, I'm about to bring every Black person in here I can find. Like I'm about to just bring, like, it's about to be all people of color in here. And so he completely flips the game. So it's a fun read, man. Mateo's such a phenomenal writer. Like that's a really, really fun read. I tell people about Tim Ferriss all the time. Tools of Titans, big fan. I did the audio book on his joint. Black Spark, if you haven't read Black Spark, that's a fun one. Have you read it by Charlie J. Eskew? Oh, yeah. Black Spark is a fun one. It's a dude in Columbus, Ohio who gets struck by lightning and becomes a superhero. He gets the superpower of lightning, but it's this whole thing of like, you know, why become a superhero who like helps the cops when the cops were never there for me. So it's this whole tale of like, you know, to me, it's a really interesting thing of like what it means to be successful in a society that like once you become successful, society tells you you owe them, but society never helped you become successful. And so it's a fun story.
Right now, it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a fun one, man.
All right, so what can we can we what can you tell us about this last season? What can we expect? I know you can't say much, but just something to get my people excited for it.
You don't want to know nothing about this last season. Y'all don't want that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because then you be mad at me for spoiling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the problem with people, man. They tell you they want to spoil, you give them a spoiler, they're mad at you because now they're like, you ruined it. Now I know what's going to happen. It's like, come on, man. Now I ain't got to watch it. But why you ask me? But I'll say, you know, in the aftermath of like Lawrence, you know, finding out that he's going to be a father and, you know, after the amazing, like, couple nights a week or whatever that he had with Issa and them rekindling their relationship, like, you know, obviously some decisions have to be made, you know. Do you push that relationship forward? Does that relationship end? What does that mean? What does being a father mean for Lawrence? You know, is he going to be there day to day? Is he not going to be there? Like, what does all that even mean? And I think it's such an honest and true journey. I feel like, again, that I've seen so many of my friends go through, family members go through, of like having to really figure that out. You know what I mean? And what it means to like potentially co-parent or be in a relationship with the woman you're having a child with or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, what all that really means. So it's a really dope journey. It's a really dope journey, man. I'm really proud of Lawrence, bro. Like, from season 1 to like, even where we get to by the end of season 4, but like by the time we get to the end of season 5, like just seeing his growth. I always say it feels like we met him in high school, we saw him go to college, and now he's like out in the real world becoming a man. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like we've watched this, like, this dude grow up and really figure out how to navigate life. So
I agree. All right, man. Well, this has been 1-on-1 with Deuces. I've been your boy Deuces. This has been the amazing Jay Ellis, and this is the only place that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. And we are
flawless
out.
victory.